Hello everybody, Loto for Life here, bringing us a brand new video, and today we have the deck profile plus dual combo video for Dinomist. At the beginning of the week, I did a video talking about Dinomist as an archetype and everything that's awesome about them, and also the not so awesome aspects of the deck, and now we have the deck profile that I promised. And hey, if you guys haven't seen that archetype analysis, go and check it out. Link will be down there in the description, and also of course as a card annotation thingamajig. And hey, if you happen to like this video and that video, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Everything really helps out, and sharing the videos, it's just all great. So thank you for watching. So let's get on with this, talking about Dinomist, which is very dynamite. I promise that's the one time I will make that pun in this video, but I digress. So, right off the bat, one thing that you have to keep in mind whenever you're going into Dinomist, if you haven't ever tried this deck before, is that every single Dinomist has one of two Pendulum effects. They can either protect themselves, well, one of their other dudes from being destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect by destroying themselves instead, or they can protect your other monster from being targeted, which is also really cool. And again, they destroy themselves instead. It's a really interesting dynamic and helps make the deck very weird. It's a very aggressive deck that wants to be a beatdown deck, but it's got a lot of control aspects as well, with, of course, their Pendulum effects and their best trap ever, Dinomist Howling. This is like your main goal. Get Dinomist Howling, and if you can get Dinomist Howling out on the field, you basically are on your path to victory. I can't guarantee you're going to win, but hey, you're on the right track. So, since Howling is pretty much the central point of the deck, let's go ahead and talk about that first. I'm playing 3 Howling, and honestly, if you could play more copies, I would. Realistically, though, obviously you can only play 3. Yeah, technically, you can. Technically, if you want to count Terran as like 3 more copies, because Terran can search it out. But however, Terran can only do so after killing a monster in battle. So you do have to keep in mind that most of the time you're not going to be searching out Howling, and you got to try and get it other ways. Howling is just flat out amazing. When this card is activated, you can place 1 or 2 Dinomist Pendulum monsters from your deck in your Pendulum zone, but you cannot Pendulum summon monsters until the end of the next turn except Dinomist monsters, even if this card leaves the field. Big whoop. I'm just glad it's not special summon period. It's just Pendulum summoning. Once per turn, if this card is already face up in your spell and trap card zone, you contribute 1 Dinomist monster, then target a card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Neither one of these 2 effects are hard once per turns. Meaning, if you set 2 Howling, you can activate your first one, set up your skills, use their protection effects, destroy themselves, and then you can flip over the other one and put more skills back in the zones. On top of that, you can have 2 bounces a turn. It is really good. The fact that you just have basically a once per turn compulse that is effectively for free because your pendulums just keep coming back. So therefore, Howling is just the best card in the deck, really, honestly. Moving on to the monsters, let's go ahead and talk about these guys. So right off the bat, Dinomist Spinos and Dinomist Rex are your boss monsters. I'm playing 2 of each. I kind of have considered dropping Spinos to 1, mostly due to the fact that I find him more of being a vanilla beater. I don't like his effects as much as some people do. I have seen builds entirely focused on Dinomist Spinos, just trying to rack up the damage with him as much as you can. And those are cool and all, but you gotta invest so much resources into doing so. Spinos says you contribute 1 other Dinomist monster, then activate 1 of these effects. This card can attack your opponent directly this turn, or this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. So it's not once per turn. You contribute 2 monsters, get both effects. That is cool. But, however, you're still gotta consider that, you gotta set your Pendulum skills. You gotta summon Spinos with 2 other monsters. And then you gotta tribute those 2 other monsters, sacrificing their damage ability. And on top of that, their usability for, I don't know, Link summons, or Xyz summons, or anything else. And then, all for a dude who can attack twice directly for 5k damage. Now, that is also really good, and I like the fact that the deck basically has a, what was that 1 rank 3 called that people played in, Mermail for a little bit? I can't remember. Oh, Nightmare Shark. It's basically a Nightmare Shark or Gaga Cowboy for the deck, because he can cheese a win. Because your opponent's at 3,000 life points. Okay, summon Spinos and 2 other dudes, tribute both, bang bang. Or heck, your opponent's at 2,000 life points, tribute another dude, attack directly for game, stuff like that. But however, he's just not particularly great in my opinion. For the most part, just simply because you gotta invest so much resources into that. Especially when you compare him to the other boss monster, Rex, who maybe this is just because T-Rex is my favorite, and Rex came first before Spinosaurus was released later on, but Rex is just so freaking cool. So if this card attacks, at the end of the damage step, you can tribute one other Dinomist monster, then activate one of these effects. Either he can attack again and do piercing damage, which is garbage, or you can shuffle one card from your opponent's hand at random, or other side of the field, into the deck, then this card gains 100 attack points. Again, it's not once per turn, so theoretically, if you give Rex a second attack somehow, he can attack. He can shuffle 2 cards. It's just not going to happen very much. Now, again, it is at the end of the damage step, so what I typically like to do is I like to try and attack with my other dudes, like maybe a Terran search, and then, attack with Rex, tribute Terran, shuffle card out of my opponent's hand, so I plus 1 and my opponent lost 1. It's really, really nice. And, hey, he gets 100 more attack power. It's not the greatest, but, hey, it can help. It can build up. It can help him get over stuff, which is the nicer thing. It's not going to be ever more than like 2,600, because, let's be honest, Rex won't last that long. But, however, it is still really nice. Then we got our stars of the deck, Ceratops and Brachion. These I am playing 3 of, and for good reason. So, Ceratops says if you control Dinomist monster, and, well, all your monsters are Dinomist monsters, and none are Ceratops, you can spell summon this card from your hand. Super cool. And then you got Brachion, who basically is a Cyber Dragon. If you do not control Dinomist Brachion in your monster zone, and your opponent controls a monster that has the highest attack on the field, even if it's tied, you can spell summon this card from your hand. So basically, what these two do is these two are free link summons. Okay, so you go first, or go second, and basically almost all the time you want to go second with this deck. This is a go second deck. It can go first, but it doesn't build particularly great boards. It's more about picking apart those boards. And Brachion and Ceratops are 2 big players into that. So, for instance, okay, my opponent has like a Blue Eyes out on the field. Spell summon Brachion. Follow up with a Ceratops from my hand. Then I can either A, link summon into Clifford Genius, who is broken in this deck, or B, make Cyber Dragon Nova and then Infinity. So, you know, like, Infinity's still a good card, or at least I think he is. I don't know, he kind of fell off to the wayside. But, however, yeah, it's just that good, because you can just keep on with stuff. And, hey, if you have them charge out, you can get them back to your hand, so you can do it again later. Well, at least if you're doing a link summon, not so much with the AC summon, but I digress. So you want to play 3 of each of these guys because they're just that good. They're also 2 of the best scales for the deck, just being in the scales, because you generally want to have your other dudes out on the field most of the time. And then I got 2 Lesser Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. He just works super well in this deck for being able to trigger charge and search out stuff. He does, however, his scales, I hate his scale, because you can't Pendulum Summon Rex or Spinos, or of course the level 5s. So you really got to have a way to get them out of your Pendulum Zone, which unfortunately we don't, but considering how much backrow destruction there is, the opponent tends to do it and not realize that, hey, he just saved me from having to find a way to do it myself. He is a really good card for the deck in general, though. I don't really use him for the scales too often. It's really more so to make Ignister and the other good old Ascending Draco Slayers, and you can do some fun combos with them. It's honestly really nice. Moving on, we got 3 Terran. 3 Terran is awesome. He's the Searcher. Whenever he kills a monster in battle, you can add a Dinomist card from your deck to your hand. Plesiosaurus, I'm playing 3 of as well. Originally, I was only playing 2, but I really felt like 3 was more necessary nowadays for the deck in general, because you don't really have a lot of good monsters you want to have in the 6, or you don't want to have in the 6, and having more, well, level 4s is really nice. Also, this thing has just a really funny effect. So, all face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dinomist card you control. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but it builds up super fast and helps Terran and Rex get over more stuff so you can trigger their effects more effectively. You know, the Dinomists have really high attack power already, so they can generally get over stuff better, and having 3 Plesiosaurus just makes it so much easier to do, and helps with damage calculation while getting damage in and all that. Then you got Stegosaur. I don't like Stegosaur. I hate Stegosaur. He is a worse version of Ankylos as far as I'm concerned. Stegosaur, if another Pendulum monster you control battles an opponent's monster, after damage calc you can destroy those monsters. He is literally here just to be a scale, and for another name. The instant Dinomists get another scale 3, in any way, shape, or form. He can have a garbage effect for all I care. I'm dropping Stegosaur for that monster. Stegosaur is really just here for being a name and for being a scale 3, which it's so funny. The scale 6s tend to be better than scale 3s, with the exception of like Pterodon. Then we got the good old Dinomist Rush. Dinomist Rush is a level 4, scale 6, yada yada. 1500 attack, 2000 defense. Typically I have them in defense all the time. Banish any monster that is destroyed by battle with a Dinomist monster you control. This thing basically turns all your dudes into Dark Law, which is really, really fun. I like it. He's a great card. And then we got 2 Ash, 2 Ogre. Realistically, I feel like these are like just the general best go-to generic hand traps. If you want to, you can also throw in Effect Filler by taking out 1 Luster Pendulum and Stegosaur. I've tried it out, and in my experience, I tended to go for this a bit more. You can easily just switch these to Stegosaur and Luster Pendulum out if you want to get into Effect Filler or 2 Impermanence, whichever you prefer. So I just try to build these like what I can do IRL, so that's my personal thing. Maybe not always the most optimal build, but in my experience, this is. Then I got 1 Regeki, 1 Humphreys Feather Duster. If you want to go with Lightning Storm, you can. You know, they're the same thing, basically. It's just down to you. Again, I try to build these decks like if I can build it right now, and I do not have $200 to chug out for 2 copies of Lightning Storm. Then we got 3 Pot of Desires. This card just helps build consistency for the deck and helps that you get to actually more stuff. 2 Pendulum Paradox. This card I am really liking for this deck. Add 2 face-up Pendulum monsters with the same Pendulum scale, but different names for your extract to your hand. You can only activate 1 Paradox per turn. This card is super, super handy for just about any Pendulum deck. Heck, they were released with the Mythical Beast, which don't really care for, you know, Pendulum summoning, because, well, they all have the same scale if I remember right. And Pendulum Paradox is really helpful for this deck and what it wants to do. Everybody has scale 3 or scale 6, with the only exception being Draco Slayer, who has scale 5. So therefore, you almost always have targets in your extract to be able to get. Now, to be 100% honest, Dinomist Charge tends to cover this more than anything else, but however, Pendulum Paradox is very helpful for those times where you don't have enough dudes to, enough charges to be able to grab more guys, or you get to charge too late. So it does really help out with that grind game and getting more plays going on. 1 Called by the Grave, because this is a rogue deck, and trying to go against the more opposing decks without Called by the Grave is terrifying, and I hate that Konami put this to 1. Come on, why? Then we got 3 Charge. 3 Charge is just amazing. It's your searcher for your monsters, and then, well, whenever it's activated at least. And then once per turn, if a Dinomist goes into your extra deck, you can add 1 of those cards to your hand. This is a really good card as well. It helps make Dinomist playable under Master Rule 4, and of course Master Rule 4 Revision, so it just is really great as well. And then I'm playing 1 Dinomist Rush. This is another card you can drop for more hand traps if you really want to, but Dinomist Rush does come in very, very clutch from time to time. Especially when 1 Dinomist monster from your deck. If you do, it's unaffected by other card effects, also destroy it during the end phase. This summoning like Rex or Spinos can be very, very annoying for your opponent to deal with, or you can summon Plesio to, well, just screw over your opponent trying to attack over like a Rex or Spinos, or you can summon Ankylos to help you run over more stuff and, well, banish them. So this does come in handy quite a lot. It's a bit slower, obviously, because it's a trap card, so I can totally relate if you want to replace it and like maybe Stegosaur and 1 Luster Pendulum for some more hand traps. It's down to personal preference and playing. I also have been testing out Pendulum Area, but I found it just wasn't very consistent enough to use. Pendulum Area is a stupid good trap card on paper, but it's not particularly great otherwise. If all monsters you control are Pendulum monsters, minimum 1, target 2 cards in your Pendulum zones, destroy both cards, and if you do, neither player can spell summon for the rest of the turn, except by Pendulum Summon. So, what I originally was doing this for a little bit, and where I was just do-do-do, and then boom, boom, boom. But, however, I found it screwed me over more than anything sometimes, because I wouldn't be able to use it, because you have to make Link monsters to be able to do more plays with Pendulums. And so therefore, you make Clifford Genius, you can't trigger Pendulum Area. And it's so annoying. It is really fun though when you flip over Dinomist Howling, use the area, destroy stuff, and then you flip over another like Howling to put your scales back. That doesn't happen much, but it is really nice. So, moving on to the extract. I have one me Starboy, just helps with getting over more monsters with, well, boosting up Terran and stuff and searching more. Also, he's just a really good generic link monster in general with his 2 downward pointing arrows. The star of the show, though, is Clifford Genius. This thing, as much as it was made for Cliffords, is stupid good in Dinomist as well. He has 1800 attack, needs 2 machine monsters to make. All Dinomists are machines, bottom left and bottom right. 2 machine monsters, as I said. This Link summon card is unaffected by spell and trap cards and the activated effects of other Link monsters. Once per turn, you can target one face-up card on each player's field. Except this card, both those targets have their effects negated until the end of this turn. When 2 monsters are spell summoned at the same time to the zones this card points to, you can add 1 level 5 or higher machine from your deck to your hand. So that is really, really good, and obviously references Pendulum summoning, because let's say you, I don't know, use Ceratops and Brachion to make him, you then, I don't know, flip over Howling to get some Pendulum scale set, then you Pendulum summon Ceratops and Brachion, effective Genius to search out, I don't know, another Ceratops, another Brachion, a Rex, Spinos, anything you want. The fact that you have effectively, let's see here, 2, 4, let's see here, 7, 10 monsters you can search with this card is just really, really good overall. And it's just, I love it. It's a really annoying Link monster for your opponent to deal with too, being completely and totally unaffected by spell and trap card effects and Link monster effects. 1 Zephyr Metaltron for another buff for being basically a leg up from Genius. Really good as well. Then we got 1 Apollousa, Bow to Goddess, and 1 Series of Skildred. This deck is able to churn out Link 4s relatively easily, so making either one of these 2 isn't the worst thing in the world. Moving on to 1 Daigusto Emerald for starting off with the Xyz monsters. Getting your dudes in the graveyard sucks, you have no way of recurring them, so getting them back into your deck and drawing your card is super nice. 1 Magister Paladin, the Ascending Draco Slayer. Fun combos with the Draco Slayers, and also, of course, being able to search out a dude at the end of the turn. 2 Cyber Dragon Nova and 2 Cyber Dragon Infinity for the Nova Infinity play. I really should squeeze in a room for like a Cyber End Dragon or something in here, because Nova, whenever he gets solemned, it's not fun, and then he can trigger his effect to special summon a Cyber Dragon monster from your action deck. Or sorry, 1 Machine Fusion monster, which unfortunately Dinoster Power is not. He's a dragon, even though he looks like a mecha. Then we got 1 Focusaurus because hey, burn damage is fun. 1 Ignister Prominence because he's the best Draco Slayer period, and then 1 Dinoster Power to protect the scales, and for also, again, along with the other Draco Slayers, for Draco Slayer shenanigans. So, moving on, let's go ahead and look at some replays. I have a ton of them, good and bad, so let's watch. Load replay. So, we're going to start off with me going first against Ignister. As I said, this deck does not like going first. It sucks going first. It prefers going second. Funny enough, back in the day, this deck was a go first deck, because you would be able to just set all your scales, and I'll tell you, more than anything, this deck suffers from the fact that the scales are in the back row now, because now you got your continuous spell charge and your continuous spell, trap with Howling, and they just all clog up the back row. It's not helpful. So I desired, and unfortunately banished both Rex and 2 Howling. It sucks. So yeah, that is just the story of my life. We're going to go ahead and Pendulum Summon out Plezio and Ankylo, and I'm just going to end my turn there, because you generally want to be able to protect your dudes with the scales, and hey, you can recur them with charge. So he's going to start going off of his Ignister shenanigans. First time I've seen somebody play Splash Mage, and I kind of like it. Very interesting card. So he really didn't make anything particularly noteworthy. I decided to protect Plezio and just get back Terran, because hey, being able to do more stuff with Terran is fun. Activating another charge to search, making Clifford Genius. I should have summoned Ceratops first there, but I did not. I'm going to go ahead and set Spinos and just mass Pendulum Summon here. I'm going to get a search for a Brachion. I really should have searched maybe for Rex or something there, but just kind of thinking, we're kind of reflecting. Anyways, made a Cyber Dragon Infinity, proceeded to go for hopeful game? Yeah, game. I wasn't sure if that was game or not. So just how bad I am at math. Next up, we got a Duel against Constellar. If I remember right, this is with the new Constellar monster? No, maybe. I don't know. This might have been before the new Constellar monster got revealed, which is really good, by the way. I hate when people say that Constellars don't have any good spell or trap cards when they do. Now, that guy should have set more all attack before, but anyway. This is the only downside to hand traps, when you just open too many of them and you can't do much with them. Very, very annoying. So he's going to go ahead and just do some more shenanigans with Constellars. Unfortunately for him, can't seem to make the one dude, Pleiades, and for some reason he's playing nothing but Constellars in his extract. This guy must be brand spanking new to the game. So, I can't make much plays, so I'm just going to go ahead and summon Plesio in defense. He activates Generation Force. I don't know what he was going to search with that, and don't play Generation Force. Let's see here. XYZ Import. Huh. I guess he was going to search that, or XYZ Block. What is he doing playing all these... Okay, I am very concerned for this guy playing the... whatever. I'm going to go to flip over Howling, put my Stegosaur in the back row, because screw Stegosaur. And just going to start kind of trolling him with Howling. So anytime he tries to do anything, I can just bounce it and then OA get my stuff back. So yeah, putting that morale attack back in his hand. I did not know his morale attack, so I mean, I'm like, I don't want to deal with a solemn warning right now. Just going to keep going for stuff, getting rid of his back row, because again, I did not know they were artifact morale attacks. I was just scared of something stupid. So just going to keep going for stuff. Okay, XYZ Block. He surrenders. Yeah, anytime he would try to do anything, I was just going to win. And hey, I drew Rex next turn, so that would have been awesome. Moving on to good old DDD. Well, doing against DDD. And he is going first. Now, this hand, I'm not a big fan of drawing both desires, but hey, I'll take it. This hand is interesting, to say the least. It's going to get more interesting coming up. So he's going to start doing his stuff. Making some plays, making the Gilgamesh. I've seen so many people debate on whether or not Gilgamesh is a good card. Oh, God. He should have really destroyed that, but hey, whatever. So, there's where he's going to go ahead and destroy my Nova. Again, that's why I should be playing one Cyber Dragon and, like, Cyber End Dragon or something, just for having a 4K beater. That would have been hilarious and cheesy. Oh, boy. Harpy's Feather Duster off that Pot of Desires. It's just too good. I'm going to protect my... So this is a really nice combo. If you have to crash Terran into something that has 1800, you can protect your Terran using the scale 3, and then you can, well, you know, proceed to go off from there. So I grabbed Ceratops, and I'm going to make another Nova, because I want to steal his dude. Did not want to deal with that. And now I can negate Beowulf if he tries to use it, which he's obviously not going to. Just going to run it over, which is very annoying, but hey, I'll take it. So he's going to go ahead and do some more shenanigans here. Banishing my dude. Of course, I didn't have anything to target or prevent from targeting. Alrighty. Pot of Desires again. And I surrendered because I did not see any way to win from here. I had my Terran and Howling. And he was just going to nuke everything with Beowulf. That was the big thing. He was just going to nuke everything with Beowulf. And there was nothing I would be able to do. Now, here's one thing you got to keep in mind for Spinos. And that's why I have to mention this. Spinos, along with the other scale 3s, they only are only able to protect your dudes from getting destroyed, like mass destruction wise, if they themselves are not being destroyed, because it counts another dinosaur. So, if basically, like with Beowulf, yeah, sure, I could technically use it if it was just destroying my charge and my Howling, but it's not. He's also destroying Spinos, which puts that in the, which makes it so that it goes from being another to being in that category. So, yeah, it's very annoying with that rolling, but that's how it works. Then we got a duel against Nimbles, which is fun, or at least I think it's Nimbles. Oh, it's some Morgs. All I knew was Nimbles whenever I was dueling against this guy. So he's going to get the Beaver. I'm going to flip over to Howling to get my stuff going. And then I should have just insta-bounced that, but I wasn't expecting to get Kaiju'd, so yeah. Oh boy. Evenly matched. So yeah, fun stuff. Regeki, he's going to try and destroy that. I don't really care. I'm going to get to grab it back. Activate Ankylos, search. Grabbing Rex. Pendulum summon for 3. And this is where the fun begins, kind of. Just attacking big time. Effective Rex, Tribute, Banish, well, Tribute, Shuffle. I hit the freaking evenly. I hit the evenly. Gotta love hitting that evenly. Let's see here. Previous. Boom, 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 boom. I hit the evenly. I didn't know he had an evenly. I'm rewatching these replays with you guys just to kind of walk you through and everything. Hitting the evenly though. And he tries a dark hole, and of course Ceratops would prevent my monsters from being destroyed. And then I would just bounce anything he tries to do, and yeah. He bricked. I hit the evenly though. I am proud of that. Okay. And then we got a duel against Phantom Knights, I think. At least it looks like Phantom Knights. Like, really, it's weird. Very weird. Yeah, it's like Phantom Knights, but like with silent swordsmen. Okay, it's Phantom Knights swords. It's silent Phantom Knights. There we go. Silent Knights. Silent Knights. That sounds like it could be a video game. I'm thinking of what was it called? Dream Knights or Knights or something. I don't know. Anyways, I think it was just called Knights. Now I remember. So he's gonna start doing his stuff. Shenanigans. Yeah, I don't ever ash Dante. There's no point. Then he's gonna summon freaking Silent Swordsman. I'm gonna negate that, and then he's just gonna keep going with his plays, making a freaking break sword. Which, of course, I can't negate because he targeted scale itself. And then he's making Raider's Knight to go into Dark Requiem, which is totally not annoying at all. So now I have to play around Dark Requiem. Now, if you don't know what Dark Requiem does, Dark Requiem, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Here's the thing. I totally forgot he can only do that if he has Dark Rebellion as it. I was playing around it for no reason. I forgot he has to have Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon as material. Which is very good for me, but very sucky for him. So I'm going to go to negate that. Thankfully, I don't care about Fogblade. And then, if I remember right, he said, oops, I totally forgot about Requiem. Forgetting that, yeah, Requiem needs Dark Rebellion under him. Oh, God. So, here's a very salty Time Thief player who I destroyed with Dinomist. So much so he wanted to have a round 2. So here's round 1. And this is where fun. The fun is just so. Well, I should say salt. The salt just flows with this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do my usual shenanigans with Dinomist. Love that little combo with charge if you have Draco Slayer out. Summon out those two and proceed to just kind of wait. He tries to use Regulator. Ash. I'm like, no, I'm not letting you get a free monster. Okay, and then I'm gonna make Clifford Genius. I'm gonna grab back a Terran. Gonna destroy my other Terran to get another Terran. Activate Terran, and then Mass Pendulum Summon for for 4. It's like, wait, why did I not? Okay, making that Skull Dread. Put him a few things back. Special summoning Rex because I couldn't Pendulum Summon him. Doing some big damage. Rex getting rid of another card out of his hand. Happened to hit the double or nothing, that doesn't matter. He draws Upstart. He gets another Regulator. And I'm like, okay, cool. And this is where I'm like kind of scared of Excidon Knight, but I'm also not. And he goes into something totally else. So he uses Redoer's effect to steal something. I don't even know what he grabbed. Okay, Plesio. I tried to use, what was that? Try to use Pendulum Paradox. He negates it. He gets, I summon Infinity. He's just trying to negate everything. Pendulum Summon, run over, Startup. I negate the Startup. He tributes his dude so that I don't, so that now he and I, oh yeah, so I take the damage instead. I never once used Raigeki there. I should have, but I was getting greedy and wanted to search. So as I said, he was salty and demanded a round 2, so here we go at round 2. This time he's going first. And he does open better, and I don't have it open to freaking, oh, what is it called? I can't remember. Oh yeah, Ash Blossom. And he's going to go to make some Time Thief shenanigans. I learned a lot about Time Thieves while dueling this guy. I will be honest. Like, seeing Time Thieves work how they were supposed to was really cool. and I didn't realize that, hey, they actually can do some pretty decent stuff. Makes me want to try them out in a deck, so I try to activate a thing, he negates it, activate desires. He's going to put another thing on him so he can bounce something. Just going to keep going, and Pendulum summon for good old Luster Pendulum and Terran. Just attack it with the Terran to search. I should have made Ignister Prominence. I don't remember why I made Dinoster. I don't remember, and it annoys me. But I did. So he's going to just keep going with his thing. What did he grab? Desires. Okay, cool. Gonna put another thing on that guy. Just the constant searching and drawing, I gotta say, like, it impressed me, honestly. Stirred up, just putting more things on his dude. He makes Sporo Sword, which I'm like, I don't really care for. Dinomist Rush for Rex. And then I'm going to use Howling to tribute, and this is where it gets, or this dude just got super salty at this point against me. It was so funny. I wish to save the chat, but oh well. Or just keep on redoing that. Okay. He's going to Effect Filler my freaking Rex. I don't know why you would do that, but okay. And then I just chain Howling to get rid of his Redoer. He's got a Lure. Goes for the Monk. Monk effect. Going for that Utopia, and then he realized he forgot something. Or, wait, I think he clicked on the wrong Utopia. Like, he wanted to go for the double or nothing play. I drew a Geki. Personally, I would have gone for, like, Redoer if I was him, just so I can have a negate with that retrograde. That top deck, though, for Regeki was just way too good. So he's going to summon Regulator. I'm like, no. Just no. More plays, more Pendulum summons, just doing everything I can to get as much damage as I can. Rex shuffles back his last card in his hand because I don't want to deal with that Regulator. And then if I remember, he draws Instant Fusion. And at that point, he surrenders. So that is Dinomist. I love this deck a lot. It's a lot of fun. I feel like I can improve it a bit more. But I really like this build, and it just is a lot of fun to play. This deck is one of the few Pendulum decks I've come across that can still effectively play under Master Rule 4 and Master Rule 4 Revision. More so under Master Rule 4 Revision for, well, not having to clog up my fusions and synchros and Xyz and then extra monster zones. So, yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and hey, I hope you guys are enjoying Pendulum Month so far. It's only 2 videos in. I got more coming in soon, and also some other fun stuff. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and peace out. See y'all later. Thank you all for watching the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and see y'all later.